Welcome to Outpost 318. This is the fire in the wilderness. This is where men drop the act and we rise up with purpose. I'm Eric Madden, and this is a brotherhood for those of us who were never satisfied with surface level answers. Today we're going to be talking about something that creeps in kind of slow, and it rarely gets named, but man, it will choke the fight right out of you if you let it. And it's the feeling of being behind. Have you ever thought that? Like, have you ever woke up and you go through your day, you scroll through your phone, you sit through meetings, you go to dinner, you might talk to your wife or kids or your friends, but in the background, behind your eyes, the whisper keeps echoing, you should be further by now. You don't say it out loud, and you might not even consciously think it, but it's there. It shows up in comparison. It shows up in the way that you act when someone your age buys a house or launches a business, posts the perfect vacation photo. Because, we live in the world of social media, and we always have to compete and compare and be better than anybody on social media. Or it seems fulfilled in ways that you're not. And that internal voice, the one that will not shut up, says that you're late, you've peaked, you've missed the mark, or you should be more. So let me ask you something when it comes to that. Who decides the timeline for your life? Like, seriously. Who decides where you end up in life at what point? Like, where did we get the idea that we need to have it all together by 25? If you want to get scientific about it, your brain is not fully developed until 25. So if you were 35, you were an adult 10-year-old. So of course you don't have it all figured out. You don't have it all together right now. Some people do. That's great. That's awesome. Maybe some of them got some of mom and daddy's money. Maybe some of them, had a really good start in life. Maybe there's, certain circumstances. All of that can come into play. But where did we get the idea that we have to have it all together by a certain age? Or that being a good man meant that you never struggle, or that you couldn't start over at 30. I am 36 and I just started college. That's scary. But no one said I couldn't. A lot of us are living with the expectation that we never chose. They came from our dads, they came from our coaches, they came from our culture, from church, from school, from social media, and instead of challenging them, we absorb them. We turn someone else's story into our shame, and the weight of that is exhausting. But here's where it gets dangerous, and this is the part no one warns you about. When you feel behind, the temptation isn't just to hustle harder, to fight harder, to stay up later, to get that extra rep in. No, it's to shut down completely. When you feel behind, you stop dreaming, you stop risking, and you stop showing up fully, because in the back of your head, you're thinking, what is the point? What is the point of all of this? I've already failed. And that's the lie. The lie is that you are too late. It doesn't just discourage you, it disarms you. And a disarmed man can't lead. He can't protect. He can't rise. Not because he's weak, but because he's disconnected. He's disconnected from his heart, from his identity, and from his mission. And listen, guys, there's a war happening inside of a lot of men. And it's not just about discipline or drive or self-help routines. It's about slow, quiet erosion of your soul. And it's a belief that somehow you missed your shot and you are permanently behind for the rest of your life and you will never catch up. That the best version of your life was a few exits back, and now you're just trying not to crash. But I want you to hear this. Maybe more than anything else that you hear on this podcast, like if I could sum it up, you were not behind. You were in the forge. That's so cheesy and cliche. Yeah, but it's true. That hard place that you're in, that season where nothing makes sense and you're questioning everything, it's not a detour, it's a training ground. And no, it does not feel good. It sucks. Okay, and that doesn't mean that it's wrong. Sometimes suffering is necessary for your advancement. To quote my best friend, quote Casanova Green, sometimes suffering is necessary for your advancement. Because here's the truth that's not trending on social media. You won't see it on Instagram or X or Twitter. You won't see it anywhere. Growth isn't always visible. It's not. Sometimes you won't see it. Sometimes you don't see it at all. Sometimes it looks like roots instead of fruit. Sometimes God is digging you deeper, not taking you higher yet, because He knows what's coming. He won't take you higher because He knows that your foundation isn't strong enough to carry what you asked Him for yet. Think about that. All the things that you have asked God for, are you strong enough to carry it? How many men do you know who look like they were ahead, but inside you could look at their eyes? You know, they say the eyes are the windows of the soul. How many men do you know who look like they were so far ahead in life, but inside they were empty? They had the job, they had the truck, they had the car, they had the trophy wife, they had the gym body, they had the respect, but they were hollow. They were fake. They were not strong. They were just putting on a performance so that they could do what was expected of them, or so that they could meet this reputation that they have crafted in their own imagination. That's not success. Winning at life but losing at the soul, that is not success. That is suffocation. And that's why Outpost 318 exists. Because you weren't made to perform. We're not circus monkeys just dancing around for peanuts. You were made to become. Now let me get real with you. There was a season in my life not too long ago, and I think I'm just now getting out of it, where I looked like I had it all together. I was productive. People respected me. I had goals. I had ambitions. I had structure. But inside, numb. Cared less. I was disconnected from my emotions. I was disconnected from my purpose, from the fire that I used to have. Partly because of people, partly because I got stuck in my own head. I've been so busy chasing progress that I hadn't realized that I buried myself in pressure. And I felt behind. Behind of who I was supposed to be, behind from the life that I was supposed to have built. And it wasn't until I stopped pretending that anything actually changed. And that's what I want for you. So what do you do when you do feel behind? You don't run harder. You pause. You wait. You get brutally honest about where you actually are. And you stop measuring your life by someone else's highlight reel. And you get around some men who will speak truth to you, not fluff, not to boost your ego or your pride, but who will speak truth to you, men who will remind you that this is the moment. It's not the end. And it's the invitation. And that's why we're building the Recalibrate Retreat. It's not therapy, not a sermon, and it's not a weekend sitting around in a circle singing campfire songs. It is a reset. That's why it's called Recalibrate. It's a weekend for men who are done pretending and ready to fight for what is real. You get 2 nights in the woods. You get a field pack in hand. You get a fire token around your neck. You get brotherhood around the fire. And you get to experience the forge where you face what's holding you back. And you get a solo trick where you drop the mask and you hear from the only voice that matters. Because it is you and you alone walking in that trek. And this is not for every man. But if it's something if something in you is burning and this episode is starting to hit deep with you, it might be for you. So you might want to go to outpost318.com and figure it out. Don't stop. Grab your spot. So let me leave you with this. You are not late. You are not failing, and you have not missed your shot. You are in the middle of being refined. And yes, it hurts sometimes, but pain does not mean that you're broken. It means that you are becoming. Don't buy the lie that you are behind. You were in the forge and you were being built. And when the time comes, you will rise. You will rise to become stronger, clearer, wiser, unshakable. Until then, stay in the fight. This is Outpost 318. We'll see you in the fire.